Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to the first episode of Comic Corner. I've been trying to do this series now for approximately 2 weeks. And the good news is, with this first episode, that, well, first of all, I got Michael doing the camera work, so this is kind of like a comic review. And through Skype, I was hoping to do this, but then his electric went out. Now his electric is back. Tox is back. And he's going to be here also for this first episode.
How y'all doing?
And basically what Comic Corner is going to be is, you guys saw throughout my entire 100th episode weekend celebration, a lot of videos and a lot of diversity in the stuff that I collect. One of the videos was my trade paperback and graphic novel collection, which is now growing because there are trade paperbacks coming out within the next 2 months that I'm interested in, that I'm going to be grabbing. In the following year, I'm sure there are going to be 1 or 2 that come out, and I have a ton from years back that I would love to have a chance to reread and review. So what Comic Corner is going to be basically is, I'm going to pick a graphic novel or a hardcover or what have you that is a book, and I'm going to review it. There are 2 new books that came out the past month. You guys know because you saw the last video, Batman Noel. And I figured what better way to kickstart Comic Corner in episode 1, what better book than The Batman Files, which came out at the end of October. Yes, the end of October. The 25th of October, sorry, I had to remember the date. And I had a chance to read through this. This is basically, for those of you who have the DC Comics Encyclopedia, this is the Batman Encyclopedia in so many words. The whole point of this book is, when you open it up, on the very first page, it has a letter from Batman, who admits in the letter that he's Bruce Wayne. Well, basically, it's saying that the world is always going to need a Batman, and it talks about when he died, how Dick Grayson took over the mantle, but he really wasn't prepared. So this book is to prepare his predecessor for being Batman, and it collects all of Bruce Wayne's life and crime-fighting career and his allies and villain files, all wrapped into one big leather-bound book. Basically, this is all of Batman's feats, his training schedule. For example, I wanted to show certain pages. I'll have to sift through the book while I'm talking. It talks about his journey when he left Gotham for a while to go around the world training. It shows pictures of the way Gotham City, he envisioned it, his parents envisioned it. Lots of news clippings. This book is very detailed when it comes to news clippings. Maps, very detailed with Gotham City, and underneath Wayne Manor, which is where the Batcave is made. Schematics. This is what I was looking for. Lots and lots of schematics for the Batmobile. There's the Batjet. There are, I believe there's the Bat Cycle in here. I'm not too sure. I don't think it's the cycle. But there's a lot of schematics. There's the Batcave layout in here. Very detailed book. For those of you Batman fans, you're going to love this book. It's a ton of stuff to read. A ton. There are hundreds upon, I'm sorry that this keeps closing, it's magnetic. We'll get to the make out of the book in a minute. I started talking about the inside, but there are tons and tons of pages. Oh, the Batcopter, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Bat Cycle. Of pages and pages worth of information. And for example, here's the Mike, are you able to, I know you're holding the camera, just make sure you see this. The book is heavy as hell. The utility belt, for example, like it explains the layout of his utility belt. I don't want to really show too much because I don't know with the way YouTube goes with the copyright and whatnot. Lots and lots of detailed stuff, letters and pieces from crime, like letters from crime scenes, photos from crime scenes. Wonderful, awesome artwork. I have very little when it comes to complaints about artwork when it comes to this book. Here's, like, for example, another one is Tim Drake's Robin costume, which is on this page. And then Tim Drake here as Robin. It is very detailed when it comes to Batman's life professionally and his allies professionally. His villain portfolios, it has basically every single thing. The evolution of his costume, Oracle's clock tower. I'm still, to this day, I'm still finding new stuff, like here about Lex Luthor coming into Gotham to rebuild it. There's a ton of stuff in this book, and it all ends at Batman Inc. That's where this book concludes. It starts with the very beginning of his career, and it concludes with Batman Incorporated, which is what Grant Morrison was writing before the relaunch. That's the first thing I have to say. This book is pre-relaunch. This is all of Batman's career before the DC Comic New 52 relaunch. Actually, Mike, could you go in the living room and grab the cover that went over this? The paper cover. It's where I put the... You'll know where. You'll see it. I forgot to grab that one before we did this. Is it a bad thing that it took place? It was released in October. That's a month and a half after the DC relaunch. Absolutely not. I actually enjoyed this more than seeing Superman relaunched. Yes, thank you, Michael. The pictures in here are all pre-relaunch stuff. So technically, if you're looking for anything that is post-relaunch, not in this book. Not at all. Now, when you buy the book, it comes like this. And this was what I thought the cover was going to be. Like the permanent cover. With Batman on the actual cover. Unfortunately, though, after taking the plastic wrap off, this comes off. The Batman and Batman Files comes off, and the book is just a flat black book. Mind you guys, I have very little bad to say about this book. So when I talk about bad stuff, it's going to be nitpicking. It really is, because that's all that you can say about this book. First of all, the price on this book, without any type of discount, without anything, is $100. It is not worth $100. A, because the DC Comic Encyclopedia, which is just about as detailed as this, minus the articles and everything else about Batman, like the training schedule and whatnot, those are $30. If you want character bios that bad, pay the $30 for the DC Comic Encyclopedia. However, you could buy this on Amazon for approximately $58, and I just checked it before I made this video. It is still on sale. So, is it worth $58? Sure. It is a very nice collection of Batman stories and files and stuff like that, but it is not worth $100. I actually feel the price was a little bit overpriced for this book. I expected a little bit more for a triple-digit price tag. Just me. Because they did mention also that the Batman logo was going to come in like a metal. This is hard plastic, guys. Somebody actually said in a review that it's metal. No, this is hard plastic. It's the cover over here is metal because it's a magnet. It's a magnetic cover closer, like a flap, but it is not. This symbol is not magnetic. My other gripe is, once again, if you have the DC Comic Encyclopedia like I do, it's not a big deal. But if you're reading one of the pages with the files that look like this, I gotta find one now. I should have bulleted these pages. Actually, while I'm looking for here, like this, where it's like a file. On the very bottom, they'll be talking about, you'll be in mid-paragraph. I'm gonna give you the last sentence. He runs a tight ship, and the one that does not tolerate corruption of any kind, period. And then in parentheses, continued. Some of the sentences get cut off, as a matter of fact. And if you turn the page, or if you look on the next page, it's something completely different. Why? Because the files are not continued. The files are incomplete. Some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. that's a very small, like I said, these are all nitpicking things. Once again, for $100 though, you expect a complete, here, we're talking about Catwoman. She utilizes a combination of highly developed physical, continued, okay, physical, period, and you turn the page through the pictures, Poison Ivy. Okay, she utilizes a combination of highly developed physical.
To interrupt real quick,
Yeah.
she uses a... Wait, what was the one sentence?
She utilizes a combination of highly developed physical.
Wow, 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 wow!
I knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
I almost co-opted on him.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Tox. That actually put a levity. Other than that, the writing inside the book is great. Another thing is this flap covers a lot of very important things. These pages are spray painted, and this is what happens when you have spray painted pages. Can you see it, Michael?
Wait, let me see if I can zoom in.
They're glued. I had to go page by page to actually get them unstuck from being painted black, and then you get the glue residue here. So this basically covers that. No way of avoiding that. But once again, it's nitpicking. I am nitpicking here, people. There's not much bad I can say about this book, okay? But I still say it's not worth $100. The book is... This isn't even real leather. I'm sorry. And you know what really bothered me about it? I know I shouldn't let certain people touch certain things because they like to... They're a little careless. But somebody opened this book, and there is... I don't know if you could zoom in on this and see it, Mike. Right under the bat symbol, right about yonder. Scratches are very easily put on this leather, on this thing. Can you see it?
Yeah, like right there where your finger is.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's very easy to scratch, and there's no way to take it out. I washed it, I cleaned it, I tried everything, won't come out. So be very gentle with this, or else you will have a lot of noticeable scratches. Other than that, that's about it for the cover. Would I say buy it on Amazon? Absolutely. You're a Batman fan. You want this book. This book was an enjoyable read. Like I said, I'm still reading it to this day and finding newer things inside the book as I'm reading it. It's fun when you have nothing to read and you just want to read up on some Batman history that you don't know about, or something like... The schematics are just eye candy, really. Other than the schematics, if you want to read into other things, they're all here. Be careful on those file pages, though, because it's going to say continued. You need the DC Encyclopedia to complete the files. Anything you guys would like to say?
Michael, would you like to go first?
Actually, I think maybe you should go first, because you've been, you just got your electricity back, so maybe it's best you go first.
Alrighty. To throw my synopsis into it, even though I do not own it, to be honest, I really I like the idea of the whole entire book itself. It's just everything you've ever wanted to know about Batman and more. You get everything. Of course, they do cut it off because they do that they do that for obvious reasons, not to troll you or anything, but they just do that for business reasons. They want to give you a lot, but they don't want to give you too much. They want to kind of leave that taste in your mouth and whatnot. Just to sample something, so that's why they cut the pages short, in my opinion. But from getting everything, all the details, for the most part, of every villain, every scenario, every gadget, everything, it's just like, wow, what more could a Batman fan really ask for? And the only other thing they could have thrown in here, oh no, they already did. They put in, even his workout schedule. So if you're looking for a workout schedule to follow in real life, why not try at least one day of what Bruce has to do?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, though, I'll tell you that much. You have to kind of be a little bit fit, at least, before you try this. I will say that.
Yeah, the only thing they could have done to throw an icing on the cake was, just right off the top of my head, I don't know, maybe a poster of Catwoman, some provocative poster or something.
Provocative poster? I was about to agree with you until you said provocative. It would have been nice if they threw posters in it, though. I will agree with that.
Well, yeah, even posters in general. I mean, to think about it, this goes hand in hand right now with Batman Noel and Batman Year One. Is it still new enough, really?
Yep, basically. I hear if you bought Batman Arkham City, they actually had free posters for pre-orders.
That's weird, though, that they threw in this huge-ass thing. They would probably sat there and said, fuck it, let's not throw in the extra shit there, because they're already getting enough. But
exactly. The only thing I would have liked was when they advertised it with the Batman picture and the Batman files on the book. I thought that they were going to either draw it on the leather or at least embroider it on the leather. I mean, that's the only extra. And then on the corner here, it would have been nice to have the Batman files embroidered. Other than that, that's really the only thing I would say I'd want a little. The only extra thing, like if they were going to add something to this book, that would be the one thing I would want them to add. That's really all I could say I'd want them to add.
Besides the posters and everything, there's not much else you could ask for. If you're a hardcore, dedicated Batman fan, this is definitely a product you would like to own, and that's all I gotta say.
That's actually why I bought it, because since the relaunch Batman, I've started reading every single Batman book, and before that, I read Batman when Batman actually came back, and I had been reading Red Robin on and off, and I've always liked Nightwing, so it was always fun. So
yeah.
Oh.
Nightwing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So my take. Well, I haven't really had much time to read. I mean, just going back to the exercising thing, like you showed it to me the other day, and I was like, whoa, like that's like a lot of training, all that. But other than that, like I've saw some of the inside of it. It looks really interesting. I like the whole thing that you showed, the schematics of the Batmobile and the Batcave and all that.
It's always a nice little tidbit, the schematics. I always love that.
Yes.
Those kind of books I've always found myself compelled to buy.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's Batman, he's the Dark Knight. I mean,
How dark can you get?
I know, I mean, it would be awesome if they made also a Superman book, with Batman,
That's what
Superman.
I was going to say that. I'd love to see as a sequel or a companion the Superman journal or the Superman files or something in a white leather book. That would be sick. I'd buy that like that.
Yeah, but I do have to agree with you and Tox about when they document them and it says continued. I kind of actually like, you want to know what it's saying. It's like finishing something you're making and then you can't finish it because you don't know the finishing touches to it.
Yeah, it's like making a cake with only half a recipe.
Exactly, but all in all, just to make it short, even though I haven't really had the time to go through the whole thing, I would say it's great information and there's a lot of things you could learn about Batman, and that's basically it.
I give this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only reason why I'm taking off half a star is because I'm sure it didn't cost that much to embroider, especially for a $100 book, to embroider Batman and the word "The Batman Files" on the side of a book. And also the fact that the files are incomplete, and for a $100 book, even though I didn't pay $100, I paid like a 40% off of that, but still, for a book that has a price tag of USA 100, Australia 125, Canada 100, and the UK 60 euro, yeah, I think I would expect at least some type of embroidery. I mean, I'm sure there are other people that like the smooth, like it looks like a real journal. It does look like a real journal because, Batman's not going to write the Batman files here or put his embroidering of the Batman costume on here. But in all seriousness, though, it doesn't have. If this was a identical copy of the journal, then the files would be complete. It would kind of be like the DC Comic and Marvel museums where it has little flaps where you could take out the files and actually read them like paper. That would have made this book look more realistic. This book really feels more like I'm reading through the Encyclopedia of Batman, so as such, you could have just put the Batman picture, embroidered the sides, and yeah. I really don't care that this isn't metal. It doesn't bother me that it's hard plastic. I just don't like when people review a book before it comes out and say it's metal. It's not metal, guys. There's no metal in this entire book other than the magnet here and the magnet here. There's no metal in this entire book. So 4 out of 5 stars. Check this out. If you are a Batman fan and you are a pre-Flashpoint fan.
Yeah, I would also say 4.5 out of 5 since I checked it out.
5. I would say definitely check this book out. It is worth the read.
Did Tox check it out or Tox?
Tox, what do you think?
What's up?
Star rating.
Star rating, it definitely is a solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay.
Alright.
I gave it a 4.5 just because I had to take off half for the unfinished files and the
price tag is a little.
yeah. For something that's so much, you expect just a tiny bit more. Once again, it's all nitpicking though. As is, this book is definitely worth the price on Amazon though. So if you want this book, go on Amazon now before they sell out or before the percentage off is gone, and get your hands on this book before it disappears.
Yeah, but Chris, you have to remember one thing. I'm Batman.
Don't forget about Catwoman, man. She's there. She is all there.
Oh yeah. Mike, can you hand me the other book? It's right next
Which
to you.
one? This?
Yes.
Oh.
Also, guys, you saw from my last video that I did get Batman Noel. This book will be in a future video, a future Comic Corner video. I will mention this again on my comic review this weekend. However, I will not be reviewing it in my comic book review. A, because there are a lot of comic books that came out this week, and I'm probably not going to have the time to read this entire book by tomorrow night. So there will be another episode of Comic Corner. Most likely the next episode of Comic Corner will be on Batman Noel. So look forward to Batman Noel in the future. Maybe not the second episode, but sometime soon I will get to Batman Noel, I promise. Any of the books that you saw from my graphic novel trade paperback collection, these 2 books are the only new additions to it so far, plus Carnage and Lock and Key volumes 1 through 4, and I've already done a review of volume 1 and 2. I have to do
Did you do the review of Kingdom Come?
No, I did
or was
not.
that a hard copy?
I'm just saying, guys, go back to that video, look at my trade paperback and hardcover collection. Let me know what you'd like me to review, what you would like to see in a future Comic Corner, and I will put it on the list. But I think next I'm going to do Batman Noel because it's the newest book, and I've read through a nice amount of it, and I don't want to give it away. I said it in the pull video. I'm going to say it again here. I don't want to give it away, but if you didn't buy it, I'd suggest you go buy it, and that's all. And you'll see why in most likely episode 2. So the Batman Files, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Check it out. See you guys in the next Comic Corner. Until then, though, I'll see you guys tomorrow night for my Dark Avenger comic book review, episode 105. So see you guys there. Say goodbye, everybody.
All right, later.
Take care.
Later, everybody.